Welcome into Mornings on Main Street, Southern Middle Tennessee, the show that looks at Giles, Lawrence, and Maury counties from the pages of your local newspapers. I'm Scott Stewart, the publisher of the Pulaski Citizen, Lawrence County Advocate, and Main Street Maury. That's right, those are your local newspapers. Make sure you get a copy of your local newspaper sent to you each week with a subscription. Here's how you do it. Get your subscription to your local newspaper, Pulaski Citizen, Lawrence County Advocate, Main Street Maury, today, so that you get it all sent to your mailbox, or you get it all right there on your computer or tablet. Here's how you do it. PulaskiCitizen.com, MainStreetMaury.com, or LawrenceCountyAdvocate.net. Or you can call 931-363-3544, 615-452-4940, or 931-762-1726. And that's how you can get a hold of a subscription to all of your local newspapers, either any of those websites or any of those phone numbers. Now let's get our weekly wrap started this week with Main Street Maury. Hey, the Main Street Maury wrap this week starts with the civil rights pioneer Fred Gray speaking in Columbia last week as part of a lecture sponsored by the Columbia Peace and Justice Initiative. Find that story right there on A1 along with photos. Also on the front page, workers at the Ultium plant in Spring Hill has voted to unionize with the United Auto Workers Union. Maury County Daughters of the American Revolution promoted Constitution Week last week. Cathy's Creek Bridge on Love Branch Road will be named in honor of Hampshire's John Andrew Booker. And the Annie Moses Conservancy wrapped up 8 sold-out shows of Tom Sawyer put to music. That's all on the front page. Inside, Columbia saw significant economic impact from increased 2023 travel in Tennessee. There's a special prayer service planned at St. Peter's Episcopal Church Sunday. Find out about an upcoming Petersburg Air Art Festival this weekend. Girl Scouts donated a bench to Spring Hill, and the Sons of the American Revolution inducted new members. We have photos of both of those events inside this week. The City of Columbia has applied for a Blue Cross Healthy Place grant. Let's see, Columbia Kiwanis recognized 2 former club presidents. We've got the Spring Hill Public Library scheduled for October. Inside, there's an article covering former Vice President Mike Pence's visit to MTSU last week. Maury Regional welcomes 4 new doctors, and a Columbia singer has released a new single. As always, we have local obituary notices, local government notices, community announcements, the forecast from Tennessee Valley Weather, comics and puzzles, local church directory, and Ms. Cheap in Main Street Maury this week. Did you know that Piggly Wiggly down at Neely's Mill Shops has been local since forever? And Main Street Maury has been local since forever. Since forever it's been in existence, it's been local. We are your local newspaper. Find your local grocery store deals inside your local newspaper this week and every week. And this week is the second big week of the Pigs Mega Meat Sale. So make sure you don't miss out on that. And that's a lot, but I happen to know because I took a little peek that there's a lot of exciting sports in this week's paper. And let's turn it over to Mo to let us in on all that action.
Hey, I'm Maurice Patton, sports editor at Main Street Maury. This week's print edition, the September 25th print edition of Main Street Maury, has coverage of all 4 of our Maury County football teams picking up victories in week 5 of the high school season, beginning with Columbia Central's big Region 5-5A win over Lawrence County as Justice Haggard scored a pair of second-half touchdowns in a 24-7 victory over the Wildcats over at Lindsey Nelson Stadium. We've got coverage of that in print this week. Also, Mount Pleasant surviving in overtime in a matchup of unbeaten teams in Region 5 2A play. Mount Pleasant going down to Summertown again, both coming in at 4-0, 2-0, and Mount Pleasant getting a 19-13 victory there in overtime. Also, Columbia Academy opened Division 2A Middle Region play with a 28-7 win at home over Donaldson Christian. Monte Baldwin with 241 rushing yards and a pair of touchdowns for the Bulldogs in that one. Spring Hill snapping a 9-game losing streak, a 4-game skid to open this season with a 26-23 overtime victory against Lawson on homecoming. So it was a happy homecoming for the Raiders there as well. Unfortunately, both Independence and Summit dropped matchups over the weekend. Summit falling to Brentwood in Region 6-6A action. Independence dropping a decision to Beach. So that's our high school football for the week. This coming week, spinning ahead, Mostradamus gives you his winners for week 6. That's also in print. We've got some golf action in the print edition of this week's Main Street Maury, so be sure and check that out. We've also got middle school scores and the upcoming schedule as middle school football heads into postseason play this week, so check out the matchups there in the print edition of Main Street Maury. We've also got the Red Zone Rundown where we've got updated standings, updated stats, this week's schedule, and the Tennessee Sports Writers Association's statewide polls for this week for all 9 classifications across Tennessee. Classes 1 through 6 in Division 1, classes 1 through 3 in Division 2. So again, be sure and check out the Red Zone Rundown. You've got all the information there you could possibly want. This week's, online this week, we'll have coverage of week 6 action on the high school gridiron, and that will be in next week's print edition as well of Main Street Maury. So be sure and check out this week's print edition, the website mainstreetmaury.com, and next week's print edition as we keep you up to date on high school football and everything else that's going on the sports landscape in and around Maury County. I'm Maurice Patton, sports editor at Main Street Maury. We'll see y'all next week.
Piggly Wiggly, located in Neely's Mill Shopping Center, is Columbia's locally owned and operated Cost Plus 10 grocery store dedicated to serving the community with low prices and smiling faces. Piggly Wiggly offers fresh, hand-cut meats daily as well as daily hot plate lunches from their deli counter. You're certain to see smiling faces and a helping hand when you're here at Piggly Wiggly. Come by and check out our fresh produce, high-quality meats, and more. Down home, down the street, we'll see you at the Pig.
Having a good, confident smile and being able to portray that positivity to others is really helpful.
A professional family atmosphere is what we get every time we come here.
Our hygienists do a better job at kind of assessing mouths and coming up with plans than most dentists do.
They're very kind and they're very aware of other people.
I think if there's things that I would want you to leave here with, I want you to feel like you were heard, that we listened to you, and I want you to feel like that your concerns were addressed.
Bluegrass Auction Associates is hosting another estate auction in White House, Tennessee on Saturday, July 20th at 10 a.m. Join Bluegrass as they sell the Judy Matthews Honeycutt Estate, conveniently located in the scenic Orchard Park subdivision. This beautiful estate includes both real estate and personal property, so everything must go. Everything will be sold on-site and in person, and a 10% buyer's premium is added to the final bid. So bid with confidence with Bluegrass Auction Associates, committed to excellence.
Whether you're an athlete or a weekend warrior, when it comes to your performance, don't settle for anything less than excellence. We're proud to announce that Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint Clinic is now Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia, where we are redefining sports medicine and orthopedics. Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance's team of expert sports medicine physicians understands the unique demands of your body. TOA Columbia specializes in personalized orthopedic care, offering state-of-the-art treatments for everything from sports injuries to joint replacements. Learn more at toacolumbia.com.
Nashville Sounds Baseball is back in Hit City for the 2024 season. Spend your nights and weekends at the ballpark with weekly giveaways, fireworks shows, throwback deals, live music, and more. Top talent will take the field at First Horizon Park against the AAA Minnesota Twins, Baltimore Orioles, Atlanta Braves, St. Louis Cardinals, Cincinnati Reds, and more. Tickets start at just $10 and are available now at NashvilleSounds.com. We will see you in Hit City.
Hey, this week's Pulaski Citizen Wrap starts off with our Citizen Spotlight, Heather Ayers. Man, Heather does a lot in our community. She's done a lot, and she continues to do a lot. See her photo on A1 and read the story about her inside this week's edition. Also on A1, the Giles County Commission met last week, and we've got all of that, all of it that we could fit in this week's paper, starting right there on the front page. There's more that'll be coming next week. Touch a Truck was Saturday, and we've got pictures of all the fun around the square. The Giles County community is coming together in a lot of different ways to help out the family of Eli Moss. Eli Moss was a young man who was killed, a young father who was killed in a motorcycle wreck recently. We've got an article this week that tells you all the ways that you can be a part of helping out Eli's family during this time of grief and need. And our prayers continue to go out to the Moss family. This week, we also have articles from Connie Rowe highlighting the Ardmore and Elkton boards, their city boards, including a tribute down in Ardmore for the late Mickey Fowler. This week, there's the article on the new robot at STRHS with photos. Inside, we have the Pulaski Exchange Club saluting education excellence recently by recognizing Richland teacher Beth Johnson as the 2024 Faculty of Distinction. And Johnny Phelps' Giles Pass brings Linville Then and Now Part 2 to us this week. And as always, Pulaski Citizen has obituary notices, court docket, property transfers, government public notices, backward glances, fun and games, church directory, community briefs, and church briefs. Now, there's all kinds of stuff in your Pulaski Citizen every week. Make sure you get a copy of it sent to your mailbox or to you on your email or on your computer or your tablet. You can call 363-3544 or you can subscribe at PulaskiCitizen.com. So make sure you get your subscription so you don't miss out on a bit. And there's all the stuff that I told you about in this week, plus sports, which Wade Neely is here to share with us right now.
Hey folks, Wade Neely here, sports editor at the Pulaski Citizen. Time now for a look at what's in print for this September 25th edition of the Pulaski Citizen. Before we get going, I want to give a special shout out to all of our Pulaski Citizen staff, especially Scott Stewart and Carrie J. Malone. A lot of problems behind the scenes, but you never know it. So thanks to that staff for getting everything out, getting everything on time this week. We appreciate you guys and all of your hard work. Just wanted to make sure we get that off the top. Speaking of the sports section for this week, let's dive right in. If you are a Richland fan, how sweet it is because you ran wild all over your rival last Friday night. 44-7. It was a demolition of Cornersville in the Battle of Buford Station. Richland really took care of business from the opening rush as Nash Petty goes 90 yards on the opening kickoff. And we say never looked back a lot in sports, but I mean, they literally never looked back as Richland was in cruise control from the opening kick. Again, 44-7 is your final. It was the first Richland win at Cornersville in the regular season since 2001. Richland is now 4-1. They're now 2-0 in region play. They're the only undefeated team in region play. So a lot to be proud of in Region 5A for your Richland Raiders. So make sure you check out Mark Mize, who has a recap of that. As again, Nash Petty, Blaine Woodard, Luke Eastlick, Aylin Kennedy, Andrew Huff. Everybody had a big game. Jake Sands. It was a great, great performance for the Richland Raiders. Bottom of the front page this week. We have not had a chance to shout out our golf teams a lot this year, but we wanted to make sure we give at least some shout outs as we enter the key pieces of the season as Giles County and Richland are competing in region play this week. We will have coverage of that region tournament in next week's edition. But in this week's edition, we feature members of our GCHS golf team as Olivia Wade, Killian Hansen, Carter Britton, Levi Moss, Camden Eubank, and Cannon Graves all were represented at the district tournament in fine fashion, all of them qualifying for the region. Olivia Wade qualifying as an individual for the ladies, and then the rest of the boys team qualifying as a team after a runner-up finish. So make sure you check out our shout out there. Speaking of shout outs, it was shout out to Zach O'Kelly, who's the sports information director at UT Southern. He said that it was a P-Town prize fight as number 5 UT Southern battled to a 2-2 draw versus number 3 William Carey. Southern State's Athletic Conference Showdown. It was the national game of the week. This is a matchup that is usually played at the national tournament. These two rivals, no love lost between them, and it was a 2-2 draw. Kind of fitting that the two rivals, there was not much able to discern between the two. UT Southern is 6-1-1. They are 1-0-1 in conference play. because in addition to the 2-2 draw, they picked up a 7-1 thrashing of the University of Mobile on Saturday. McClaney Michael had a big week for UT Southern, the New Zealand national. She had a goal in both of the contests, and her second goal in the match versus William Carey was eventually the one that kept the match in favor of UT Southern before William Carey got that late equalizer. Speaking of UTS, they added and announced 3 new assistant coaches. Not 1, not 2, but 3, as they have made additions to their softball, volleyball, and men's basketball programs. And so all 3 new assistant coaches, you have a chance to meet them on our back page there and learn more about the newest assistants for the Firehawks. As always, words from our good friend Larry Woody, which is always a entertaining shout in our outdoor section there, or a piece of our sports section. And then if you really want to get wild, look at the standings on the very back of this week's B section as the Fearless Forecasters. The rankings are heating up, and there's a little trash talk between some of our panelists, including yours truly and Mark Mize, as we go toe-to-toe. It was a big week for some of us, some games breaking in our favor, some games not so much. And if you pick perfect, make sure you submit your entry for this week, because if you pick all the winners correctly, you win $300 and our jackpot. You also win a prize from our good friends at Maury Chevrolet. So make sure you check that out. That's a look at what's in print. All of that is also featured online at PulaskiCitizen.com. So if you missed any of it, make sure you check it out on your mobile edition. And then, as always, thanks for tuning in. I'm Wade Neely saying so long. We'll see you next time here at the Pulaski Citizen.
Piggly Wiggly, located in Neely's Mill Shopping Center, is Columbia's locally owned and operated Cost Plus 10 grocery store dedicated to serving the community with low prices and smiling faces. Piggly Wiggly offers fresh, hand-cut meats daily, as well as daily hot plate lunches from their deli counter. You're certain to see smiling faces and a helping hand when you're here at Piggly Wiggly. Come by and check out our fresh produce, high-quality meats, and more. Down home, down the street, we'll see you at the Pig.
Bluegrass Auction Associates is hosting another estate auction in White House, Tennessee on Saturday, July 20th at 10 a.m. Join Bluegrass as they sell the Judy Matthews Honeycutt Estate, conveniently located in the scenic Orchard Park subdivision. This beautiful estate includes both real estate and personal property, so everything must go. Everything will be sold on-site and in person, and a 10% buyer's premium is added to the final bid. So bid with confidence with Bluegrass Auction Associates, committed to excellence.
They have always met wildest expectations as far as taking care of my teeth and my health. You know, teeth health is very important now to your heart. And I told him one day, I said, I'd love to have nice teeth and nice hair. And he said, well, I can take care of the teeth, but I can't take care of the hair. And I said, you can make my teeth? He said, yeah. I said, well, let's go for it. And he did. And I have been tremendously pleased. Dr. Hart, if you need him at night, he's here. This staff here will take care of you 24/7. You don't have to worry about, I can't get a hold of my dentist, my tooth's hurting. No, they will be here for you. And if I could get Dr. Hart to take that same artistry that he has and grow hair, then he would be double rich.
Nashville Sounds Baseball is back in Hit City for the 2024 season. Spend your nights and weekends at the ballpark with weekly giveaways, fireworks shows, throwback deals, live music, and more. Top talent will take the field at First Horizon Park against the AAA Minnesota Twins, Baltimore Orioles, Atlanta Braves, St. Louis Cardinals, Cincinnati Reds, and more. Tickets start at just $10 and are available now at NashvilleSounds.com. We will see you in Hit City.
Welcome to Nashville Super Speedway.
That's right, guitars and fast cars right here in Music City. This summer, NASCAR is back at the Nashville Super Speedway. Get your tickets now to watch your favorite driver take on the 1.33 miles of concrete chaos. Visit NashvilleSuperspeedway.com to lock in your spot June 28th through the 30th. for the Ally 400 race weekend.
This week's Lawrence County Advocate starts with the Lawrenceburg City Council's vote last week to reduce the speed limit on Highway 43 to 45 miles per hour all the way down to the southern city limits. A second reading of the ordinance changing that speed limit is on tap for tomorrow's meeting. That's Thursday at City Hall at 9 a.m. That's Thursday the 26th. Thursday the 26th. They will be reading the second reading on that ordinance. That and more from the September 12th City Council meeting starts right there on page A1, along with a photo of Solid Waste Director Gary Wayne Hyde being honored by the city. Also on the front page is an article and photo from Carrie Staggs and her family's visit to the fair on day one. There's still plenty of fair left, so make sure that you see the article as well as the big ad in this week's edition. By the way, it sure is great to have Carrie back writing features for us here at The Advocate. If you have something you'd like to see us feature in The Advocate, send an email to me. I'll go ahead and let you send it to me, sstewart@mainstreetmediatn.com. That's sstewart@mainstreetmediatn.com, and I'll make sure Carrie gets it. We'll get the story going on it. Another article starting on A1 is the Kiwanis and Friends replacing playground equipment at Ingram South Elementary School. Finally, on the front page, we have Lawrenceburg City Councilman Aaron Story's candidacy announcement, and there's still a ton of stuff inside this week. A crash on Highway 64 at Fall River Road claimed a man's life. A family pet perished in a residential fire in New Prospect last week. Nominations are being accepted for Loretto Burgermeister. West End firefighters were treated to a breakfast recently. Mike Noblet has sent us his account of the creation of the West Point Church pews. Focus Friends event. We found out how much it raised, $20,000. That's in this week's paper. Town criers, local obituaries, church directory, auctions and estate sales. The forecast from our friends at Tennessee Valley Weather. It's Realtors Week and Comics and Puzzles this week. In sports this week, Loretto built a big lead and held on late for a big road win at Lewis County Friday. Summertown and Mount Pleasant battled to Overtown Friday night, and Lawrence County dropped a road game at Columbia Central. This week, Lawrence County will host Spring Hill on Thursday. Don't forget that's a Thursday night game. Summertown will be on the road at Harpeth, and Loretto will head back home to host the Hickman County Bulldogs. Those games will be Friday, Lawrence County on Thursday. We also have volleyball action this week in the Lawrence County Advocate, with Loretto getting the sweep over Lawrence County and Summertown cruising to a win on a road trip to Hampshire. There's a lot more to see in the Lawrence County Advocate. Make sure you get your copy today. Even better, get yourself a subscription. We'll be right back right after this.
From the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel, this is your weather on Main Street.
Happy Wednesday. I'm Kelly Rawson in the Tennessee Valley Weather Center with a check at your forecast. We are going to see rain and storms around the area once again for today, with a mostly cloudy sky, maybe a few peaks of sunshine. Starting things off in the 60s for this morning, eventually warming up to just the 70s for this afternoon, mid to upper 70s at that. Again, rain and storms will be around the area, and we will continue to see those filter in and out of southern middle Tennessee for the rest of the afternoon, even into the evening as well. So a little bit of a gloomy day. Make sure you have the rain gear as you step out the door for today, and you're going to need it with you for the rest of the week. We are going to start to see tropical remnants get closer to the Tennessee Valley by Thursday, and that will create plenty of rain and storm chances through Friday morning. We are going to be a little bit gloomy and stormy for Thursday into Friday morning. The second half of Friday, not looking too bad. Those remnants look to clear our area pretty quickly, but check out these temperatures into the mid 70s for Thursday and Friday, and even for the weekend, we stay in the upper 70s at warmest. Now, we do hold on to a little bit of moisture with the chance of showers and storms pretty much daily, but we are going to start to be a little bit less gloomy by the weekend.
Well, that's it for this week's Mornings on Main Street, Southern Middle Tennessee. Make sure you get a copy of your local newspaper online or traditional newspaper so you don't miss a minute of all the local coverage we've got lined up for you as we continue in through fall. For more information on subscribing to any of your local newspapers, visit mainstreetmediatn.com. That's mainstreetmediatn.com. And again, thank you for trusting us as your source for local news, local events, local sports. And good Lord willing, we'll be right back here next week with Mornings on Main Street.